the millionaire mother who hadn't walked in 20 years until the new maid did the impossible. For 20 years, the Delacroix estate had been filled with wealth, glittering chandeliers, gilded halls, priceless art, but also with a silence that felt heavier than stone. In that silence lived Isabelle Delacroix, once the fiery matriarch of the family who had been confined to a wheelchair after a sudden illness stole the movement from her legs. One evening, she had been waltzing in a golden gown at a Paris gala. The next morning, her body betrayed her. Doctors from New York, London, even Geneva came with polished shoes and confident smiles, but their verdict never changed. She would never walk again. At first, Isabelle fought. She demanded therapies, diets, even experimental procedures. But year after year, hope drained away like water slipping through her fingers. The proud woman became a fragile figure, draped in silk robes, wheeled from window to window, her once perfectly styled hair often falling loose. The world had given her riches beyond imagination, but had stripped her of the one thing she cherished most: independence. Her son, Adrien Delacroix, cared for her in his way. He hired the best nurses, ensured she lacked nothing, but he too stopped believing. For him, the wheelchair was no longer a temporary support. It was permanent, a throne and a prison. And then came Maya. Maya was unlike the others, a black woman in her mid-30s. She carried herself with quiet dignity. She wasn't intimidated by the estate or the Delacroix name. On her very first day, when Isabelle snapped at her for rearranging books, Maya calmly replied, "I only moved them so you could reach them easier, ma'am." That single moment was the first crack in Isabelle's hardened shell. Weeks passed. Maya noticed what others ignored: the way Isabelle's hands trembled as she lifted a cup, how her eyes lingered on photographs of herself dancing, or how her voice tightened whenever she was wheeled past the grand ballroom. One night, Maya found her quietly weeping. Isabelle whispered through her tears, "Do you know what it's like to feel buried alive? They look at me and see a relic. Even my son doesn't believe anymore." Maya knelt beside her and said gently, "You are not a relic. You're alive. And as long as you're alive, your body hasn't forgotten what it once did. We just have to remind it." Isabelle gave a bitter laugh. "Remind it? I haven't walked in 20 years. Do you think your hands can do what medicine could not?" Maya didn't flinch. "Not my hands, ma'am." "Your will." And so it began. At first, Isabelle protested fiercely. The stretches hurt. Her joints felt like stone. She would cry out, gripping the arms of her chair, "Stop this nonsense!" But Maya never stopped. Day after day, she returned with patience and unwavering belief. She spoke to Isabelle not as a burden, but as a woman with fight left in her. She shared stories of her own life, of struggle, of resilience, of being underestimated again and again. The first time Isabelle's toes twitched, she gasped. The first time she managed to lift her foot, tears streamed down her cheeks. "I thought it was gone forever," she whispered. "It was never gone," Maya answered. "It was waiting." The sessions grew harder. Isabelle sweated, cursed, even sobbed. But every night she went to bed aching and hopeful. She told no one, not Adrien, not the staff. She kept the fragile miracle a secret, until the night the secret could no longer stay hidden. A storm rattled the windows as Isabelle gripped Maya's hands tighter than ever. Her chest heaved, her legs trembled, but Maya's voice stayed firm. "One more step, Isabelle, just one more. and for the first time in 20 years, Isabel's body obeyed. She pushed herself upright, knees shaking, feet pressed against the carpet. I'm standing," she gasped. "Yes," Maya said softly, eyes shining, "and soon you'll dance again." Tears streamed down Isabel's face. She clutched Maya's hand with a sudden, fierce smile. "Then let's not wait another day." Maya hesitated. "You're exhausted. Your muscles aren't ready." But Isabel cut her off. "If I fall, I fall. But if I don't try, I'll never live again." Maya nodded. Together they moved. At first, Isabel's steps were clumsy, her satin nightgown swaying awkwardly, her slippers dragging. But slowly, rhythm returned. An awkward shuffle became a fragile dance. "I remember this feeling." Isabel laughed through tears. "Oh, Maya, I remember." The two women circled the room, golden lamplight painting Isabel's white hair like a crown. With every step, it was as though 20 years of grief fell away. And then the door creaked open. Adrien Delacroix stood frozen in the doorway. He had come upstairs after hearing noises. And now he stood in shock. His mother, the woman he believed broken forever, was on her feet, not only standing, dancing. "Mother," he whispered, voice trembling. Isabel turned, fear flickering in her eyes, but Maya's hand tightened around hers. Isabel straightened, steadied herself, lifted her chin. "Adrien," she said breathlessly, "I once told you I was already buried while still alive." "Look at me now. I am living again." Adrien's vision blurred with tears. How is this possible?" Before Maya could answer, Isabel spoke firmly, "Because she refused to let me rot. She saw me when no one else did. She believed when even I could not, and I will never let her go." The words hung heavy in the air, stronger than any doctor's verdict, more powerful than any fortune spent. That night, Adrien understood. No money in the world could buy what he was witnessing. A miracle, born not of science, but of will, faith, and an unshakable bond between two women.